Hello everyone, it is Countergraphs here. Hi to my GeoGuessr fans. If you see me looking just off camera, it's because I'm reading a statement I wrote out to make sure I don't forget things. So you might not see me looking directly at the camera a lot, but there's going to be some overlay from things here, so half of the time you won't even need to see my face. So I know it's been a few since I did anything on this channel GeoGuessr related. I do actually have a second channel where I just do my GeoGuessr stuff now, but there's not a lot of content on there. Maybe I'll link it in the bottom if I forget. Sadly, this is not to give you some fun challenges to play or do a play along. It is to talk about the massive PR disaster GeoGuessr is involved in right now and seemingly unwilling to back down from. Anyone who's played GeoGuessr for a while is fully aware that this game cannot help but keep ruining a good thing. Yet the vast majority of players begrudgingly learn to adapt to their incompetence. I am not a great reader at the same time as speaker. I am fully aware of that before I did this, but I thought this would be better than just trying to wing it. But they have never yet to endure supporting a game that is willing to take Saudi blood money to line their pockets, which is just what happened 6 days ago when they announced the wildcard tournament for the World Championships later this year in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. As you already know, unless you quite literally keep your head buried in the sand when any type of world news comes on, Saudi Arabia is well known for their lack of basic human rights. Some, since this controversy came out, have tried downplaying it. The top two arguments are, well, every game is going. Really? You're going to use the, well, everyone else is doing it argument? In all of the arguments, this ranks somewhere between, I don't know, why not, and I had no choice, but when there's multiple choices available. But you just chose to take the laziest, easiest option. I'm not here to get into the entirety of Saudi Arabia's past, or the state-sanctioned killing of reporter Jamal Khashoggi, or anything on the laundry list of offenses that Amnesty International or Human Rights Watch point out here. As I said, I'm here to talk about their own mistakes. This week, in a couple of days, they will have an American Championship in Dallas, Texas, USA. A country that itself is currently in the middle of human rights atrocities that can see anyone, citizen or not, be grabbed off the street without warning and sent to a prison in a different country just because, and yet, despite the fact half of their field is coming from outside the United States, they chose to continue on with this event as well. Somehow this grossly offensive decision still is dwarfed by choosing Saudi Arabia for an event. Thing that the GeoGuessr higher ups have chosen to ignore is that their game has a fairly large LGBTQ community in the game, and it has been pointed out by many that one of the top contenders for the spot available there would not be able to play, or if they showed up would be at serious risk of detention or death. This didn't faze them. An overwhelming amount of negative responses to their decision on all platforms did not deter them. So today, at the time I'm recording this video on the 21st, it's about almost 11 a.m. This announcement came out maybe 2.5 hours ago. The majority of the map creators on the game, the majority of the major map creators on the game have turned their community maps, which are the backbone of the game, black. No locations will show up. When you try to play around on any of the most popular maps, including ones specifically chosen for the GeoGuessr competitive modes, show up with no image, only saying, failed to load the panorama at this round. This is the best way the game's community can get to them. Take away their most used products. Maps like a community world, the most played map in the last few years, an official world, which was quite literally the official map for their first ever World Cup in 2023, have joined in, along with dozens of other maps, including from the game's largest name, Rainbolt. Even the game's largest resource for players to learn from, Plunkett, have followed suit in their support of the boycott. This is the first major pushback the game has gotten over any decisions. There have been protests and small boycotts in the past, but not on this scale. It has gotten so big many people have posted their shots of their subscription cancellations. The question right now is, does GeoGuessr finally listen? They are tiptoeing on the edge of a total community collapse boycott. There are, after all, other options out there now for what GeoGuessr offers. Geotastic, OpenGuessr, and others have popped up over the years and given similar-ish experiences to get GeoGuessr for a far lesser price, and in some cases nothing. And while those games are not up to the overall quality of GeoGuessr, for the record, I love Geotastic, even support it once a year, but compared to GeoGuessr, it's like a 7 if GeoGuessr is a 10. Like, if we're just being honest, like, I think GeoGuessr is still the better product, but just because you have a better product doesn't mean more people won't go to the cheaper product, you know? They do not have the heavy baggage around them that GeoGuessr has continually had, and especially as of late, and will likely see large boosts right now. Could the changing of the guard for geography games be right now? There was a time Google was nothing compared to Yahoo. There was a time Facebook was nothing compared to MySpace. There was a time streaming services were nothing compared to cable television or even DVDs. Every seemingly unstoppable thing eventually gets toppled. GeoGuessr has one choice to course correct their ship away from this Titanic-sized iceberg in its path. Drop out of the Saudi Arabia blood money sponsored sportswashing event. This isn't hard. Have a backbone. Show the community, many of whom would be banned from attending this or playing, that you care about them more than the blood money that it gets from this. I have watched GeoGuessr make so many mistakes for so long. I am skeptical they will get this message. And I don't mean literally, because I am fairly certain it will get in front of their eyeballs eventually. I mean, get the message to drop out. I am very skeptical. I have come to accept that GeoGuessr is just going to constantly make bad decisions. They're beholden to investors who don't care about the community. They do not care about the value of the game. They care, did this content make more money for me this month than I put into it? That is their only interest in it. And if they can find a way to constantly profiteer off it, they will make the worst decisions possible to make the most money without having to put any value in. And we're at a major point now where we'll find out what this company is all about, whether they want viewers or whether they become the next Yahoo. And that's it for this. Hopefully I will have a follow-up video sometime in the immediate future of their decision to drop out, but probably not.
You thought that was the end of the video. So silly. So since I made this video and did the editing part of it, I was near the end of my editing when I started looking around, and I have found many more things that I felt needed to be added in this video last minute. So I'm going to bring those up now. They're mostly articles about this protest, and I'm not going to read through them because I actually think it would do a disservice to the people that wrote these articles to just read it off and lose them the views. I will link them in the description. You can go read them. They're mostly 2 to 3 minute long reads. And that'll also show the people covering this that GeoGuessr is worth covering and that this controversy shouldn't go away. So I will show you where the sources are from, and we'll just go over the title of their articles. There's also a YouTube video I found. There's nothing really in the YouTube video that is super shocking, except they have a good scroll of people giving the cancel Riyadh event comments, but you can go to their video too. I will link that too, but I thought I needed to add this into the video because a couple of these things are pretty big, especially with the fact that it's only a few hours old since everything has started happening. So I'm now going to switch to me being in the little bitty corner here while we bring over a different screen here. We're going to start off. There's a couple of articles here. This first one is from a place called aftermath.site, and the title is pretty to the point. GeoGuessr map makers make most popular maps unplayable in protest of Saudi-backed esports World Cup. The GeoGuessr community is diverse and includes many members of groups that would be harshly persecuted were they to live in Saudi Arabia. Nathan Grayson is the author, and that was posted, I don't know, Eastern time, so 2 hours ago. So while I was right in the middle of the editing process, this article came out. So that'll be linked down to below. That is from Aftermath. The next one coming up is from hotspawn.com, and it goes, GeoGuessr map makers disable popular maps in protest of esports World Cup tournament. This is made by David Dovi Zhu. Doesn't say the time of day, but it is from today. You can see there, right there. I don't think I'm going to read this part, even though it's showing there, just because I'd rather you go to the article and read everything, give them the views for covering it. Now, the next one is, to me, the biggest step so far. This is one, and it's funny because I brought this up on somebody's stream when it dropped and when I first was made aware of it, and their reaction was, who is this? As in, like, the site, which is funny to me because as a sports person, I know what this is. And I guess obviously some gamers wouldn't know necessarily, but the largest sports covering magazine in the world is Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated, I found out today, has a esports section on their website. And here we are. SI.com, Sports Illustrated. GeoGuessr community protests esports World Cup by disabling popular maps. This is by Gabby DeSena, and it was 27 minutes ago at the time that I opened this tab, which, I don't know, it's like an hour and a half ago, 2 hours maybe ago. So it goes, after rising esport title, GeoGuessr announced its participation in Saudi Arabia's Esport World Cup. Community creators are going rogue and privatizing the game's major maps in protest. Here's everything you need to know. So those are the articles that have come out. Sports Illustrated is covering this. That is insane to me as someone that has known Sports Illustrated my entire life. Like, known them for 30 years before esports even existed. It's pretty incredible to see them covering GeoGuessr, and unfortunately, for not the best reasons. And then there's a YouTube video that came out, and again, I will link this. I've already watched it, so you can see I already watched it, but it is GeoGuessr MP4 by Antidotes, which is one of the better known members in the community. I will link that out there too. In it, she just shows some of the screen caps from things and ends it off with a couple of pictures of cats. That's all the spoilers I'll give on to you. But there's now a outside the GeoGuessr bubble acknowledgement of what's going on here. It's no longer just a few people in the GeoGuessr community showing their opposition to this. You have other gaming sites now talking about it. You have Sports Illustrated talking about this. I don't know what the point is that GeoGuessr finally cracks and goes, we're so sorry. We give up. Please don't cancel us. But they're kind of already past that line. Whether they can pull themselves back over the line, that's a decision they got to make. Personally, I don't expect a decision from them today. Their hours of operation are long since closed. They won't. They're on Swedish hours, so you're probably looking at like 10 hours until they even open office. They have a lot going on this weekend with the event in Dallas, so will there even be a staff there maintaining things? Who knows? Right now, I would be surprised if we get a comment this weekend, and that is going to be a tidal wave of disaster for them. They're going to have to endure that during a live event. They're going to have people commenting on it during a live event. There might be people in the audience, not that I'm encouraging it, but maybe someone in a live event speaks out about it. They have a lot of risk this weekend that they probably need to quash right now. And I realize they're very busy making new avatars, but you might want to get on this sooner than later, because somebody bigger than Sports Illustrated is probably still out there, and you are really, really tiptoeing through a minefield. That is now the end of this video. I hope I have to make a follow-up where they have apologized and pulled out. But as I said before this one, I'm kind of not expecting them to. I think they're going to happily blindly take the blood money and just pretend none of this happened. And when they lose 20% of their viewers, they're just going to turn that into acceptable losses for the $1 million or $5 million or $10 million they got from it. Bye.